moving off the Eagles to the team they lost to, or they beat rather. They did not lose that Super Bowl. I'm sorry. The Kansas City Chiefs. What have you thought of the last couple of years of Patrick Mahomes, where the numbers aren't as good, but it's not like you're going to convince me he got worse?
I don't think he got worse at all. I think that he's been a product of what defense are doing. I think that we're going to see an ability to push the ball down the field a little bit more aggressive this year. I know people have talked so much about these too high shell defenses, this, that, and the third. But I think that the way that they're playing the game now, these too high shells are really rotating into one high simulation looks of too high. So we'll see cover 6, 3 buzz, things like that. And Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to start pushing the ball down the field in a way that he wasn't before. And I think that losing Tyreek Hill causes a lot of that. And I hate to say it, but we see one of the best tight ends of the game slowly but surely becoming one of the not best tight ends of the game. He's really good in moments that matter, but I think it's harder for him to consistently do it each and every week. So they've got to continue to find some guys that can do it. The crazy part is, though, Patrick Mahomes is so underpaid, I will be kicking ass and raising hell about the guys that I have around me because he needs some real talent there.
Well, is he like the new Cam Newton in that sense? Because the thing that Cam Newton has never gotten enough credit for is, even when he was out there with Ted Ginn as his number one receiver, everything else, his belief was, you give me 10 guys, I got it, right? Like I'm going to get this done. Very few quarterbacks as talented as he was, would have handled that in that way. Mahomes, who didn't take all the money that he possibly could have, where I'd be mad is like when Dirk was in Dallas and like, I'm giving y'all back all this money for you to give it to who? Like, what are we doing?
Exactly. That boy Patrick Mahomes took the most team-friendly deal ever. 10 years, $50 million. That's just not enough. He's probably the 12th highest paid quarterback right now. If I'm him, we got to renegotiate tomorrow. I'm not sure what kind of equity he's getting in the Kansas City Chiefs post-career, but we need to figure out something.
Well, they went out there and they got some fast guys, but I like Worthy, but Worthy's not big. Rice is certainly going to have to spend some time on the list for what happened with him, and with that accident. But Mahomes is the best quarterback I feel like I've ever seen, but I understand completely why people would feel or could feel like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen has passed him based on what you've seen.
I think that Lamar Jackson the past couple of years has been playing quarterback position better than anybody. I think that his ability to be so dynamic with his legs, we take that away from him. He's still one of the best throwing quarterbacks in the NFL, something that we talk about as a weakness coming out of college. He completes 68% of his passes. And he's being able to go through reads and work through a system in that way. I don't think anybody's close to what Lamar's doing. So
really, what do you think separates him from Josh Allen?
I think that the added ability in the run game with their zone read scheme, he really takes away a defender for the other guys. It's not just about what he's doing. I think that Derrick Henry is not the same quarterback as he was before, but the things that Lamar Jackson has been able to do for him allows him to take his game to the next level. I think their stats are pretty comparable, although Lamar Jackson's are better. So he's a little bit better there, but he makes everybody else around him so much better. And I think that's what makes him special, in my opinion.
Do you think he gets a little hiccupy in the postseason and that becomes the issue there?
I think that he may make the moment too big for himself. And
that was how I felt.
We just want you to be the same guy that you were all regular. You don't have to do anything extra. And I think that that's the biggest message that we got to get across to him is just be yourself because you are good enough. And, people are going to make plays, but I think that you're going to make more if you just allow yourself to be consistent.
And I admit I am generally skeptical. Panickers are going to be panickers forever. So Sam Darnold's going to be a panicker forever. Josh Allen, somewhere along the way,
I was going to say
every rule and everything that I've ever seen. He stopped being inaccurate. And you remember that game against the Texans
where he threw the ball down the field to a fullback. Sir, what is going on? What did you see that none of us saw that made you think that was a good decision?
That was one of several crazy decisions that he made.
I watched that game so thankful. I said, my life is going to change because of you.
But then he turned into something completely different. He looks as confident when I see him as anybody when these moments come around now. And I did not think it was possible for people to make that transition. Lamar seemed to do that in part in the second half of that game against Buffalo, where it started like a lot of those other playoff games did, where he's coming off the sideline and he's slamming the helmet, and you can see how tight he was. And even with Mark Andrews making the 2 worst plays literally of his career, you saw it felt to me like Lamar had perhaps turned a corner at that point.
And I hope and think that that's what we have. Like, he got to do it. He really won that game, in my opinion. He did everything that you needed to do to win the game. Some people just fell short in terms of being able to do the things that they needed to finish the job. But I think after seeing that, as poorly as he played in the first half, as well as he played in the second half, he's like, I got it. And I'm willing to bet a lot of money that the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl because of that.
They're another loaded squad. Like, they have the guys to the place now where, and it feels somewhat unfair, it's there's no excuse for Lamar Jackson now. Well, things happen. You never know like what the circumstances are going to be. But no, you will not be able to say, as you could have in previous years, that they just didn't have enough dudes.
If they stay healthy, they're up there with the Philadelphia Eagles. The secondary they have with Kyle Hamilton, those 2 corners, they've got a lot of things working in the right direction.
All right, before we get out of here, you being in Atlanta, I am very curious how this is going to go with Captain Durag, Michael Penix, who does not have waves. I don't think he even has hair, but he has durags. Durags by the thousands of durags. I have been kinder to the Falcons for the selection than a lot of other people because I'm like, hey, we're going to find out, right? You think he's that guy? We're going to see if he's that guy. He was older than your typical draft pick. There are mobility questions. There are questions about his ability to throw it over the middle. But they've got maybe the most talented running back in the league behind him, Drake London on the outside, and maybe this is the year that Kyle Pitts puts it together. What do you see from Penix, or what do you think one should expect from him?
I think that we're going to see somebody who's able to be explosive in the passing game. I think that they were completely limited from that. They have a really good wide receiver room, and I think that we didn't get to see that with Kirk Cousins. He just wasn't who he was supposed to be. I anticipate him being under Jaden Daniels, but he's going to be the best year 2 quarterback this upcoming year. I think their offense does some really good things. I think Zach Robinson is going to put him in a lot of positions where he's able to play action, come off of that, Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and just check it down to Bijan, right? And if you're able to do those things at the level I saw him do things at last year, I think that he's going to be special. Now, if he can take the do-rag off, I think that puts us in a better spot. I just went to a country club with Penix. This is a fancy country club, $100,000 at least membership. He was definitely wearing the silky. Like, do-rag on. Everybody's looking at him like, yo, you got your shirt tucked in, hat forward. Nah, he's got a pink do-rag. I thought that was the wildest thing I'd ever seen.
Yo, kind of here for it. I mean, that dude was in college doing halftime interviews, shouting out the homies on the bricks. Right? They just named a street after him, and where he from in Tampa, it's the intersection of Martin Luther King and Michael Penix Drive. And I have been told, and if you guys from Tampa think this is wrong, okay, but I have been told that is not just sounds like a treacherous intersection. It is, in fact, not the place. Like, Michael Penix is like, do you have any clue what I had to do to get here? And you know that because he was willing to go to Indiana to get out.
He just is trying to make it out. Whatever he can do to get out, he's willing to do.
But do you think he has it? Because as a college quarterback, he looked like he had it. And all that, like, if you watched him play at Indiana, look, he was too good to be playing at that version of Indiana. We'll put it like that.
He was, to me, talent-wise, I think that he's up there. He definitely had the benefit of just being older than a lot of other guys. So he's going to be really good right now for year 2 quarterback. But does he get better than that is the real question. I think that we're going to see him hit his peak really early. And I think we're probably there, honestly. He's not going to get much better than who he is right now, but I think that's still going to be a really good quarterback for a really long time. Maybe not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but you're going to be able to have success with him as your quarterback. You might not win because he's your quarterback, but he's going to be able to do a lot of things the right way.